Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing really well. Back today to do a little early summer book haul. Books have been bought and therefore we've got to talk about them. The first book that I picked up between May and June of this year is Anne Boleyn and Elizabeth I by Tracy Borman. No great secret as to why I wanted to pick this one up. I'm a big fan of Tudor history. I especially love Anne Boleyn and learning more about Elizabeth I. And so a book that talks about their relationship, ways in which Anne Boleyn really influenced Elizabeth I, her daughter, despite the fact that they were only together for 2.5 years of Elizabeth's life, Anne Boleyn being executed when Elizabeth was just a toddler. You know, I just had to pick it up. This one has recently come out into paperback, and actually I managed to find this in a charity shop, so I had to snatch it up when I saw it. Next up, a book that is definitely going to be on my radar for Jane Austen July, but one that I've not heard anybody talking about because I think it just came out, is She Played and Sang Jane Austen and Music by Gillian Dooley. And this is just tracking what we can glean about Jane Austen's relationship to music. Did she like it? Did she not? The music that was prevalent in her day, what she wrote about music not just in her novels but also in her letters, which seems, at least from the introduction of this book, to betray a bit of a mixed reaction when it comes to music. Some people actually think that Jane Austen hated music just because of the kind of characters that she would depict in her books. People who tended to play musical instruments seem to be a bit ridiculous in her eyes, but I'm sure this book will provide a bit more nuance in that and dig a little bit deeper. Next up, at the very beginning of June, I ended up going to Barter Books, which is a very famous bookshop up in Alnwick and is one of the largest secondhand bookshops in the UK. And so while I was there, of course I had to pick up a few books. The first of those being Lady of the English by Elizabeth Chadwick, which is a fictionalization of Empress Matilda. You know that I'm a massive fan of Empress Matilda. She's one of my favourite historical figures, but I have not yet dug into fictionalizations of her life, just because I'm a little bit wary of how fiction authors might depict her. This, from what I had read so far, seems to be the most balanced and the least sensationalized, and is looking both at Matilda as well as Adeliza of Louvain, who was her stepmother. I'm currently about 115 pages into this so far and really quite enjoying it, but more thoughts to come. I also kind of on a whim picked up The House of Fortune by Jessie Burton. This is the follow-up to The Miniaturist, which I believe came out in 2014. This was quite a long-awaited sequel coming out in 2022, and I read The Miniaturist when it first came out and was a little bit meh on it, but I have since read more Jessie Burton and really enjoyed her writing. So my plan for this is that I'm going to go back to The Miniaturist and then pick up the sequel, because I do think I will have different thoughts on it. But this book is actually following a different protagonist, the niece of the main character Nella from the previous book, but I don't know much more about it other than that. So I'm looking to be surprised, and hopefully I'm going to really enjoy this. And then a very different book that I found in Barter Books, one that will definitely at some point, when I do bring back my Super Sexy History Books videos, a great book for that will be this one, Mighty Lewd Books, The Development of Pornography in 18th Century England by Julie Peakman. Look at that cover, isn't it glorious? But yeah, my Super Sexy History Books video was one that I did a couple of years ago, and it was meant to be part of the series looking at books that depicted the history of sexuality, because it's something that I just find really fascinating. I did the one video and it ended up just getting spammed with a lot of like little sex bots, and so that kind of scared me off doing another one. But it is a video series that I do want to go back to, talking about 3 books at a time, and I just think this is such a perfect fit for it. I think it'll be really great fun. A little academic look into something that I don't think a lot of people will think about when it comes to the 18th century, but it's absolutely fascinating. Another great charity shop find from June was The Good Wife of Bath by Karen Brooks. This came onto my radar last year because the publisher that I work for, Princeton University Press, were doing a non-fiction book about the wife of Bath and different depictions and kind of the reception to her since the publication of the Canterbury Tales, whereas this is a fictionalization of Chaucer's Wife of Bath. And I just think it would be good fun to read a Chaucer retelling, looking at the wife of Bath from a more modern lens. I've not heard very many people talking about this one, but I think when I'm in the mood for some late medieval historical fiction, this will be a perfect candidate for that. A book that I picked up just because I wanted it for reference rather than to have it on my immediate TBR is Answering Back, edited by Caroline Duffy. This is a poetry collection that I've just always wanted to own. I don't know if this is even still in print. I've never been able to find it in a bookshop. But in this poetry collection, we have more modern up-and-coming poets responding to classic poems that they love. A bit of a call and response situation going on through poetry, which just sounded really fantastic. I really love this idea of poems being in conversation with each other. I really enjoy that in novelisation, so why would I not enjoy it in poetry? A book that I picked up because I was racing through the series and just wanted to get it finished was The Secret Service of Tea and Treason by India Holton. You'll have seen in a previous book haul that my friend Rachel sent me the first 2 books in the Dangerous Damsel series, which were The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels as well as The League of Gentlewoman Witches, both by India Holton. I raced through both of those books, so I decided during a lunch break that I absolutely had to run into town to find the 3rd book in the series and race through this one too. Really glad that I did. I think the award though for the best best charity shop find in this haul has to go to 365 Poems for Life by Ali Asiri. You'll probably have seen Ali Asiri's A Poem for Every insert season here day. I've been notoriously bad for actually being able to keep up with those poetry collections, but for some reason when I saw this in a charity shop for £2, I just thought I had to have it. But I think I've learnt my lessons from those seasonal poetry collections. I'm not very good at going to a poem a day and reading it very consistently like that. I think what I'm going to end up doing with this one is just binging it, or just reading a little bit here, a little bit there, but not having to tie it down to a particular day. And it is just a beautifully produced thing. And then the final book that I picked up in this book haul, one of my most anticipated books for this year, is Not in Love by Ellie Hazelwood. I have read almost everything by Ellie Hazelwood. Unfortunately, I did not manage to finish Bride, which came out earlier this year. I did end up DNFing it because I just think ultimately I am not a supernatural romance girl. I'm not really interested in vampires and werewolves, I'm so sorry. But with this, we are back to her contemporary STEM-based romance. There's a little bit of rivals to lovers going on in here, where our main character Rue is very distressed because the company that she works for is being taken over, and one of the higher-ups of this company that is taking over hers is Eli. So to all extents and purposes, neither of these two should like each other, but of course we know what's going to happen. Sparks are going to fly. So yeah, when I'm in the mood for a little bit of romance in the summer, this is definitely the book that I'm going to turn to. So there we go, a little snapshot of the books that have been really interesting me and that I've picked up in May and June. A nice little early summer book haul. Please do let me know if you've read any of the books that I've spoken to you about today, especially some of the ones that are a little bit more niche. There are a few in here that I've not heard anybody talk about on BookTube, so I'd be very keen to have any thoughts that you have. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.